What is going on, everybody? We are off on an adventure to Green Ridge State Forest. This is exciting because this is it's kind of the first like real like overlanding trip, I guess, kind of sorta mini overlanding trip that I've taken. I believe that all the stuff that I've been doing up until now has just been kind of like overnight stuff. So this will be cool because we're going to be about, I think, like 3.5 hours away from home, and we're going to be going for multiple days. So it should really and we're actually going to be doing like some trails this time. I don't think the trails are supposed to be very like difficult trails or something that you need like a really modified rig or anything to get around or over or whatever, but nonetheless, everything up until now has either been on pavement or just like dirt roads with no terrain change or anything. So yeah, it should be a good test for us. It's me and my buddy Mike that are going. Should be a good test for us to see how, you know, we deal with it, knowing that we're not right around the corner from home and we're kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Should be a good test for our rigs, because I don't think either one of us have ever put, you know, even given our trucks any kind of challenge at all, except that one time I got stuck on my friend's farm. Hopefully we don't get stuck though. And then, you know, all the equipment and everything like that we're bringing. Like you guys know, I've been using that Bluetti AC180 in a couple videos, but this is the first time it's really going to get put to the test for like a multi-day trip. So we'll see how it holds up charging all of the devices and everything. It should be fine, but I'm probably bringing a lot more than most people would bring, because not only do I have my, you know, lights and cell phone and stuff like that, but I also have all my camera stuff, a lot of the like fans and lanterns and everything like that are all electric. I've been kind of like, as I've been buying new stuff, I've been getting stuff that's USB rechargeable so I can utilize the Bluetti. So yeah, it should just be a good test all the way around. The weather right now sucks. It's supposed to be good for the next 3 days though, so we might get, I think Mike sent me something. He said we might get snow. I don't know if that was tonight or if it was tomorrow night, but basically we're going to be gone tonight, tomorrow night, and then we're coming home Wednesday. Not really sure what time Wednesday. I know I have to be back in my hometown by like 3:30 or so to pick up my daughter from school. So probably just wake up and pack everything up and leave. That's what we normally do. But yeah, should be a fun, exciting trip. I don't know how many stops we're gonna make or anything like that. I'm curious to see what stuff I forgot. Which once we get out there and start unpacking, it's gonna kind of be too late, because I think basically it's like a little over a 3-hour trip out to where we're going to meet up at, and from there it's trails out to like all these little campsites that are like on the side of the trail, I guess. Never been there, but that's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting. So I don't know how long from the ranger station it's going to take to get to our actual, you know, final camping destination. But yeah, we're going to be pretty far out there, I believe. So if we forgot something, it's probably just going to have to be worked around, and hopefully we didn't forget anything that was, you know, vital to our trip. But we will see. So yeah, we're on the road now. I'm going to go ahead and focus on the road a little bit more and jam out to some music, and I'll if there's any updates, I'll come back on here. If not, I'll probably see you guys when we get to the ranger station and start doing some like trail footage. Bay Bridge. All right, first little stop of the trip. Stopping to take Cedar for a little break here, a little potty break. There's Mike's Tacoma. Got the new shoes on. So yeah, we're just here at one of these little shell stations. Still got about 2 hours left to go, but Cedar needs a little potty break, don't you, buddy?
Hey, good boy. Hey, good boy.
All right, we're about 13 minutes away from the destination. We are definitely up here in the mountains now. You can see, can't tell, there's a big old mountain in the background there. Ears are popping. that's fun. Yeah, like I said, we're almost there. Used a little bit less than a half a tank of gas. Probably by the time we get there, it'll be just a little over a half tank of gas that I've used for like a 3-hour and some change trip. And we only stopped the one time. But yeah, it's super pretty out here, and we are almost there. We're at the ranger station. Just got here. It is quite a bit colder here than it was when we left home this morning. No longer raining though, so that's good. There's a little ranger station. This is where we checked in at. I don't know where we are, but we're going right there. I think we're like up here somewhere, so we got a ways to go. But yeah, we just checked in, stopping to use bathroom break. We are all signed up. We got the site we wanted, the legendary site number 65. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. When we got here, we actually met a couple, Becca and Cassidy, and they're from San Francisco. They said they're here for the winter. She grew up in DC, and Cassidy, her husband, is actually a full-time, he's a full-time photographer and videographer, so that's pretty cool. So we met some people along the way already, and we just got here. I was under the impression that we just kind of showed up to the ranger station and there was a trail that took off from here, and then we just like went down that trail until we got to our site. But evidently we're gonna have to find a way to the site. I guess it's like a system of like trails and back roads and dirt roads and stuff, which might be good because we can you know, not have to drive down a dirt road for many miles. But yeah, we're gonna have to, in any case, we're gonna have to find the route there. So we're gonna plan that out. We're gonna go fill up our gas tanks. Mike's got a Tacoma and I've got a Ram. So we both ended up using about a half a tank of gas to get here. So I think the smart thing to do is we're gonna go find a gas station after I get done using the bathroom here. And we're gonna go ahead and fill up our tanks because we don't really know, you know, what the route is going to look like to get to our campsite. It's dirt roads and trails. We don't know how aggressive the trails are, but you know, you burn a lot more gas on trails than you do out on the highway just cruising. If you're, you know, going up and down dirt roads and going slow and going over rocks and little bumps and hills and stuff like that. You know, I know my truck on the little instant gas reading thing, it gets between like 1 and 3 miles a gallon doing that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just fill up now. I'm gonna go ahead and pee, and then we're gonna get back on the road again. All right, so we are ready to hit the road now. About to leave the ranger station. Let me go check on Mike real quick and see what he wants to do. Who's that boy in there? Say hi, weirdo.
Hi.
Have you, I'll put the camera on him. Have you figured out what you want to do yet?
So that the closest gas station is that Exxon we passed, unfortunately.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, I'll just follow you, and you still got your walkie-talkie on?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. I'll just follow you. All right. So I'm following him. We've been communicating back and forth these little Walmart walkie-talkies while we're out on the road instead of, you know, calling each other or trying to text over every little thing. So that's been working out pretty good. We've been staying pretty close together the entire time, so it hasn't really been too much of an issue like with range for the little walkie-talkies or anything. That's Cassidy and Becca right there. So yeah, about to hit the road. He's probably already left. He's probably like, damn it, waiting on you, making these little videos and stuff the whole time. So I'm gonna hop off here and get rolling. All right, we have finally hit dirt road here. I don't know what kind of terrain we're going to be working with. I don't know if it's just a flat dirt road like it is now, or if it starts getting crazy, but it says we're 6 miles away, but like 25 minutes away. So I guess we're going to be going slow. So yeah, naturally, the site that we come to, hey buddy, we got this laying across the road. So luckily, Mike brought his chainsaw, and I'm good at moving shit. So I think we might be able to get through. What do you think, Mike?
Let's do it.
All right, so thank God for these things. I use a little electric chainsaw, cut her down, move her out the way. Who knows how heavy it is, but yeah, glad we brought this. Got up in a little seat. Didn't really want to get red mud all over the bottom of it, so sitting high and mighty. All right, here he goes. Mike, he's our man. If he can't do it, no one can. See how the Blue Eddy's doing with all this. Still at 100% power. Says it can run it for 0.7 hours at full speed.
How are we looking?
All right, so got a path cut through. Sorry, I'm dying. Cardio is terrible, but got that cut down, and then we pushed it off to the side of the road. That little piece fell. Thank you, Mike, for bringing a chainsaw. It's been a pretty eventful trip so far. Roadblock, and now dealing with winter weather. Speaking of which, better get my Blue Eddy out of it, because I don't think they're waterproof. So cutting down that whole tree, it's at 94%, so you use about 6%. So should still have plenty of power left for the rest of the trip.
New business, buddy.
Yeah, that's crazy. I feel like this is one of those sites that the camera's just not gonna be able to capture.
Nah. Come on, buddy.
Well, we made it.
Come on, buddy.
Here's the site, my truck, little picnic table, which is nice. I didn't know if they're gonna have one of those here, so that's cool that we can actually sit there and eat instead of just doing it in our little chairs. Little campfire here. Mike's truck, Mike and Cedar, and then as you saw, beautiful canal. It's a cool ass little house there in the middle of the woods.
You already put your harness on, you gotta screw your ass in the ground.
Waking up tomorrow to see this. All right, so we're here at the campsite. We are officially done setting up. There's the truck, the little adult beverage cooler. It was actually snowing like not too long ago. I think it's supposed to snow tomorrow. This is our view, which is freaking awesome. There's our trucks. So you guys have kind of seen my setup already, but it's basically just a 3-inch memory foam mattress on top of all my storage tubs. There's 4 of them, and it's actually fits perfectly. I mean, you can see it comes like right to the back of the truck. So couldn't have made these a better size if I tried, for 4 of them. And then I got my little water jug. It's just like camp water for like washing hands and dishes and stuff, which I think I'm gonna be washing hands probably too much because it is super cold out this weekend. But then got the little heater, may or may not use that, don't know yet. Blue Eddy in the back, charging my devices, charging my GoPro batteries right now. They really suck. I don't know if it's just that my batteries are like old and like dying or what, but I'm probably gonna get some new ones because yeah, they keep dying at like 30-40%, and then the camera stops recording and says low battery even though it's 30-40%. So I don't know what all that's about, but Mike was asking me what I'm charging with this thing today. It's basically just like little fans and lanterns. There's one of the fans, and then there's the little lantern that we have strung in between our trucks. It's gonna light up the table, and then I have another one of the same exact lantern in the back there that I'll use for the inside of my truck. And then I'll be charging my like camera batteries and GoPro batteries. I'll probably charge most of my stuff tomorrow, like during the day, because I'm going to use a lot of the stuff tonight. But yeah, that's pretty much my setup. And then Mike's setup, as you can see, he's Vanna Whiting, demonstrating everything right now, but he's got all of his stuff in these little storage tubs that go under his bed, which he's actually built like a solid like wood like shelf that he sets his bed on. And then he's got like a mattress, and it's like wrapped in a sleeping bag right now, a couple blankets. He's got lights, LED lights, and little lanterns that go all the way around. He's got an EcoFlow power station, and then two pillows. He's got a free heater right there that has fur and teeth and is walking away from me. Cedar!
Hey, buddy. What's up, buddy?
He was just playing some Frisbee a second ago. He's gonna jump up and boop the camera a bit. You like that view. This is our view. It's awesome. It was snowing earlier, so that was pretty cool. I think it's supposed to snow tomorrow. We'll see how that goes, but it's getting pretty cold outside. We both put our long johns on, and we're probably not gonna have a fire tonight because it's very windy up here. So probably just gonna use a lantern for light, and then, you know, if we start getting too cold, we're just head in for the night, I suppose. And like I said, I've got a heater in mine, and then he's got his doggy heater. But this is pretty much what we are working with. It's got the two trucks sitting side by side with a picnic table in the middle. Little light hanging between, so when we eat later, we're gonna have beef stew for dinner. I just bought like literally 2 big ass cans of Denny Moore beef stew, and that's what we're gonna have, amongst probably other little snacks. There's our fire pit. So we're not gonna use that tonight. It's super windy up here and don't really want to catch the mountain on fire. This down here is really pretty, little stream. That's the road we came in on right there, where we cut the tree down back there, but we came in on this little road here. There's a stream that runs all the way around. I keep thinking that I'm hearing cars going down this road, but it's just the stream roaring. So we just came up around there and then came up to here. This is where we came in at. Down there, and it looks like there's a little trail that keeps going that way, probably to another site if I had to guess. And there's like another little trail like straight back there. You can see some tire tracks. But yeah, looks like the sun is just peeking over the mountain. Got about, I don't know, maybe about 45 minutes or so left of sunlight, but look at that view. Clouds, got the sun coming over the mountain, hitting all those trees over there. I think it's gonna be a good trip. All right, we're about to start dinner. We're just gonna keep it simple, probably for this whole trip. We're just gonna cook this big ass thing of Denny Moore beef stew and split that, and then eat whatever snacks we brought. All right, as you can see, it is officially snowing. Pretty good too. It's weird, it's almost like Dippin' Dots. Looks like little pieces of styrofoam.
Dang. Shit, might be calling it here fucking soon.
I don't say. It keeps on like this. Woo-wee. All right. We are in bed at this point. It is 8:08 p.m. It is temperature is 35 degrees here. I think it said with the wind it was like 30 or 29 or something like that. However, in here we have this little bad boy running, and it is 76 degrees in here, and that is after I just had that back window open for a little bit. It was 79 in here a minute ago when I just checked it. When I just opened the window, hopped back in here, and it was 79. Then I left it open for a little bit so I could get all my stuff in here. So 76 now, so probably, and I'm not in my sleeping bag, I'm laying here in my like full clothes, but I'm about to have to come up out of some of this stuff because I'm gonna be pretty dang on hot. But it's gonna be short-lived because with it being so warm in here and I got this big ass sleeping bag, I think I'm gonna play it safe and cut the heat off. I think it's pretty safe, but no point in taking the risk if I don't really need the extra heat. I think the sleeping bag is gonna be just fine, and we will see. We got the Blue Eddy. These GoPro batteries are crazy, man. I feel like they die super quick and they take forever to charge. But the Blue Eddy has been charging that all day long. We are currently at 90%. We haven't really charged anything else except for we charged 2 GoPro batteries. One did get done charging. The other one is still charging, it looks like. And then we ran that chainsaw for a little bit, electric chainsaw. And what else? I had something else charging too, but I forget what it was at this point. So yeah, we're nice and toasty in here as of right now, and my face is getting red. I can see on the camera. Let me take some of this stuff off because it's crazy hot in here. I'm about to cut this heater off because it's just too much. I would die in here sleeping like this all night. Yeah, we do. Speaking of dying, this back window is cracked just a hair, but I mean, I can't even fit my thumb in there, but it's little teeny bit of airflow coming in. But I'm about to cut this bad boy off right now because that's too crazy in here. And then I'm gonna cut this off too. Maybe if I can find the button. Okay, cool. Oh my God, it's hot. Holy shit. I was not expecting it to be, look, you can see how red my face is. Yeah, I was not expecting it to be this hot in here. I think between the heater and the Reflectix, it's doing a really good job. It's doing its job. Good morning, everybody. It is 6:47 a.m. and it was 40 degrees in here when I first woke up. Got the heater going, just warm my clothes up and stuff like that before I step out. It is 55 right now. So yeah, like I said, it was 40 degrees in here when I woke up. So it's 34 degrees outside. So I guess just between like my body heat and being contained in a smaller area, you know, got it a couple degrees warmer. So gonna let it warm up in here for a little bit. Gonna throw my clothes on and then hop out. Hoping to catch, hopefully we have a pretty sunrise today, because I think it's going to be rising right over those mountains that are just outside. So we'll see. But overall, a good night. I think I'm parked on a little bit of a slope. My body's like leaning towards the window. So I'm going to try to fix that today maybe. It's not that bad, but it'd be nice to be a little more level. I don't have like leveling blocks or anything like that, but might just find some like rocks and try to repark it on top of some of those on this side. But yeah, it was the sleeping bag is super comfortable. I was really warm last night, even with the heater off. So it was like, I don't really sleep with my like whole body in a sleeping bag. A lot of times I leave my like shoulders and arms and everything out. So they were a little bit cold, but everything that was in the sleeping bag was super warm. And the sleeping bag is just really comfortable, way more comfortable than any other sleeping bag that I've ever used. As far as if it's like a lot warmer than other sleeping bags, I don't really know. It's definitely warmer than the one that I usually kept in here and used.
and it's also a lot colder than I've slept in here before with that excuse me with that other one. But yeah, I didn't notice it being like, I definitely wasn't like burning up or sweating or anything like that in there, but it was also, you know, probably felt like 20 some degrees out last night, so it's kind of hard to tell. But I do like the sleeping bag overall. We'll do more testing with it tonight. I think it's supposed to be even colder tonight. So yeah, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna throw these clothes on, get some of my devices on charge that we used last night, like this lantern. Oh, that's super bright. Yeah, and just anything that I was using overnight, like my fan that's going right now and all. I'll probably charge all that stuff today, and then it'll be ready to roll again for tonight. I also wanted to mention that what my sleeping situation as far as clothing was, I took my thermal off, so it was just t-shirt, and then I've just got my boxers on, no socks. Took my thermal underwear off for my lowers, took them off, no jeans, no coat or anything like that. So basically it's pretty much how I would just normally sleep. Looks like the sun's just starting to come up now. It's about 7:20. Starting to see some pink in the sky on the horizon over there. But basically, this is the view wake up to. Wouldn't want to fall down there.
Yeah, you see this looks pretty fresh.
All right, come down to check out the next site down. Site 66. Take little Cedar for a walk. Pretty down here. Little stream under the bridge. I guess there's like a trail that keeps on going down that way. Yeah, I wouldn't mind staying at that place. That'd be a nice place in the summertime for the kids, playing the water and stuff. Uh-oh. Looks like somebody made a little bridge. My ass gonna fall in. Woo! Uh-oh. We made it. See you on the other side, suckers. Yeah, so this is, I guess, the C&O Canal bike path. Mike said he did this when he was a kid. Would you say it goes from DC to Cumberland? It's 180 miles or something like that? 184 miles. So that's pretty cool. Be something fun to do one day, maybe. Oh wow, that's pretty. It's like trees growing up in the middle of the water here. Neat. I had to roll in the first time. Yeah, I can't really jump back onto that. Or I could, but oh boy, this ain't gonna be good. I can tell. This is too slippery. Ooh. Oh, we made it. Maybe spoke too soon. I feel like I'm playing a video game here, like Uncharted or something. All right, almost there. Oh, we made it. Kaplunk. Nah, we made it. Did we what?
A dog attack!
All right, so a little change of plans. We are breaking everything down now, and we're actually gonna go move down to that campsite 66. Mike thinks it'd be better for the dog. We won't have as much wind down there, and then there's actually some firewood that we can use down there to have a fire, because it's gonna be really cold today, and it looks like it's gonna be snowing all day. So it'd be nice to have a fire going, and then we'll set a canopy up and then not have to worry about, you know, wind blowing it right off the side there, or him falling off the side there. So that's what we're doing now, unpacking everything and moving to a different site. There's nobody else on the mountain besides us. I don't think it's a big deal that we're swapping campsites. Like, we're probably not really supposed to, but I don't think anybody will mind because nobody else is here. And somebody does show up, then we'll just come back up here. Probably come back up here in the morning just to check the view out again. Hopefully the snow sticks and then this will all be covered with snow next time you see it. That'd be pretty awesome. And I think this is where we're going to probably finish the remainder of our trip. You can really see how much it snowed so far since the last video when we were down here. It looks like it's starting to stick, so hopefully we don't get too much to where getting back up that hill tomorrow is a pain in the ass. But very pretty down here as well. All right, so this is our new setup. We're down at campsite 66 now. Just up the road there is where our other one was. Yeah, it's kind of stopped snowing so much, but it's hard to tell if the weather's just changed or what, but the wind is definitely a lot less back here, which is one of the reasons that we moved down here. We should be able to find a lot more wood down here for fire, I would imagine. And then we don't have to worry about him falling off the side of a cliff. So, all good stuff. The view isn't quite as nice, but still pretty back here. Got the stream running all the way around us and all. So we're still kind of getting camp set up now. But this is what we got going. Basically our two trucks pulled in and then set up one of our canopies, and we got the picnic table underneath so we can leave stuff out if it does start snowing or raining or whatever again, and not have to worry about all of our stuff getting wet. So. So currently the plan is we're looking for firewood. Took a little break for a while. I was going around taking some photos and videos. Mike started collecting firewood, and we've got some right here, but not a whole lot. Found a nice big piece. They were going to cut down like a, I don't know, maybe like 40-foot long piece of dry hardwood, which was awesome, but we're going to have to use a chainsaw to cut into it. And about like a couple minutes into that, my Blue Eddy was at 88% and it went down to 0. So I know it didn't use that much power that quickly. So not really sure what happened. Maybe some kind of safety mechanism for the device itself. But that thing should have only been pulling like 1,000 watts or so. And this thing has a 1800 watt inverter. So overall, like super terrible luck this week with batteries. My GoPro batteries, both of those are, like I said, my GoPro's dying at like 80% battery, like 30-40% battery, and I've even had it die like 80-some% battery. And then this thing 88% to 0. I'm thinking that just needs to sit and cool off for a while or something. But then also the I had like a handheld radio thing, and the batteries in those died too after less than 24 hours of putting brand new batteries in it. So yeah, not having the best luck with batteries or my electronic devices this weekend, but that's kind of like a reoccurring theme in my life anyway. I feel like me and electronics just don't get along. But yeah, we'll see if this thing pops back to life soon. And until then, I'm just gonna keep gathering small stuff that we can pick up without a chainsaw. Came back up here because I'm gonna try to get in contact with Blue Eddy. Don't really know what happened still, but my Blue Eddy was at 88%, and we tried using the chainsaw, and we used a chainsaw for like a minute, maybe 2 minutes, and it went from 88% and then it just stopped, and then now it's at 0%. Like we read, you know, the ratings and everything on a chainsaw, and there's no way that it should have been. Actually, we tried it out on his EcoFlow, and his EcoFlow is a lot smaller than mine, and it was still able to power it, but it registered watts output at its peak. Well, my inverter is rated for 1800 watts, so there's no way that it should have tripped anything. Definitely no way that it used 88% of its power in a couple minutes. That would have required like 18,000 watts or something like that, which that thing's not even capable of outputting in that amount of time, even if it wanted to. So yeah, don't really know what's going on with the Blue Eddy. All right, so change of plans. We are actually gonna pack up everything and head home. So obviously the Blue Eddy thing, I never got that resolved. I was on the phone with somebody from Blue Eddy for a while. You know, they probably get a million calls a day of people plugging in like crazy shit, and then they running their battery dead quick. So it sounded like that she thought that that's what my issue was, but it was not. She did her little calculation, and it basically was the same thing that, you know, we figured, and that the faceplate on the Blue Eddy said. It should have lasted for about an hour with that chainsaw plugged in, but it literally went from like 88% to 0 in less than 2 minutes. It was probably about a minute running. The thing that tripped, you know, the breaker, so to speak, in her mind, holy shit, it's hot in here. My cheeks are all red. The thing that made her forward me, or attempt to forward me onto the troubleshooting team, was that I was turning the thing back on and it said it had 0% battery, but it was still telling me I had like 2.7 hours worth of time left on it, which if it's 0% battery, it should be like 0.0 or 0.1 maybe if it's on its last little, you know, leg. So anyway, she tried transferring me to the troubleshooting team, but she told me that she had to send me an email to get more information from me. And I'm like, look, I'm on the side of a mountain. Like, I had to drive up to the top of the mountain just to get a little bit of service that I have here. And you know, I think she was like trying to see what she could do, and then my service cut out. So no power, which wasn't really a huge deal. I think I had enough, you know, charge on most of my devices to last me through the night. Basically, the only thing that I needed was my cell phone, and then my lights and the fan if I was going to use the heater, which, you know, I have 2 LED lanterns. They both still had charge on them, and I brought a separate charger for my phone, so I should have been good there. But I think the big, deal breaker for us was that Mike said that his dog was like super cold and was like shivering and stuff, and it's not even, it's 34 degrees out right now. It's supposed to get down to like 19 tonight. So between, the dog already being cold and us still having a long way to go and it getting colder, and then he has no real heat in his truck. And he said he was, fairly uncomfortable last night. I said, he was trying to figure out what to do with the dog. I'm like, look, I was like, one option that we have is just pack everything up and go home. Like, I don't want anybody to freeze or anything like that, or get like really sick or anything. I mean, we're out here in the middle of nowhere. We can't really, call anybody. We have no service. We can't even call somebody if there was an emergency, and we have a lot of stuff to pack up. And we were pretty much just going to wake up in the morning, pack everything up, and go home at the ass crack of dawn anyway. So I was like, dude, if we're worried about being cold and stuff like that, let's just roll out, pack up all the stuff. We've already seen all the sites. I got what I wanted to do. I tested the things that I wanted to test, and it seems like most of them failed. So but that's good to know, He had some stuff that he was testing out too, that he kind of learned, what the boundaries of some of his equipment are. But overall, it was a good trip. Super beautiful place. I would definitely come back. I do wish we had service, not because I want to, sit and watch Netflix all day while I'm out in the middle of the woods or anything, but just really for emergency purposes. Like I got a wife and 2 kids at home, and they have no way to contact me if something went wrong out here. So that's a little concerning. And then if something happened with us, there was no way to, to contact anybody else either. I think one of the big things for me, because, I could kind of tell, I think Mike was kind of wanting to take the dog home after I said that was an option. But he didn't want to basically like ruin my time, but I saw everything that I wanted to. I would have stayed and just done it by myself, but a couple things. One thing I didn't mention yet, there was some guy in a black truck that just came down to the campsite and literally just like stared at us and then turned around and left. So who was he? Like, was he somebody that works at the campground and just doesn't have a marked, park ranger, truck or something like that? Or was he a serial killer? We don't know. So didn't really want to be down there by myself if Mike left and took the dog home when a serial killer comes back. Although I do have fairly adequate protection for myself, but he might have something better, or buddies that also have the same thing. So yeah, I didn't want to really be down there by myself. And probably the more realistic concern was that, I don't have the chainsaw, and even if I did, I have nowhere to power it now because my Blue Eddy is dead. So if he left today and then I went to leave tomorrow, I got no way to get through a fallen tree. So that's definitely something that's going to be going on my list, is an electric chainsaw, because you're not allowed to use gas appliances out here, I guess. An electric chainsaw that has a battery pack with it. Like my dad has like a Ryobi little battery pack that plugs into the chainsaw, and I used that a couple times of his and it worked really well. So I'm definitely going to get one of those, because if I'm going to be doing stuff like this going forward, it's nice to be able to, clear a path if you need to. And it would literally have taken me many, many hours to do it with the little silky saw that I have. So yeah, I think I need to get one of those. But in any case, yeah, I didn't want to be stuck basically in the middle of nowhere with a tree blocking my path tomorrow and not be able to get out. And also there's no service for me to call a park ranger or anything like that to come cut me out. So, pretty screwed at that point. I guess I'd be walking to the nearest ranger station, which learned a lot on this trip. And I'd say overall it was a good trip. Super beautiful place. I would definitely come back here again for sure. But hope to be a little bit better prepared next time, and at least like solve these issues with the electronics. But looks like I'm filming this on my phone, because my GoPro that I usually hook right up to my car and have set in place hands-free doesn't have any batteries. So I'm using my phone. I'm about to start getting back on these main roads here, so I'm gonna cut this video short. Don't know if I'll be reporting back into you guys or not before I get home and just unpack everything, but in any case, it was definitely a very informative and beautiful trip. So I hope you guys enjoyed. What is going on? It is Wednesday, December 20th. I am back in my hometown now. Made it back home last night about 6:15 p.m. Should have been earlier, but the Bay Bridge traffic was absolutely abysmal on a Tuesday evening for no reason. No accidents or anything like that. Don't know why anybody would want to live over that way, yet so many people do. But anyway, yeah, made it back home safe. Got most of my stuff unpacked last night, and just wanted to check back in and give you guys like a quick kind of like recap of the trip, and basically just kind of summarize like what I learned and everything. So it was a really good trip overall. You know, there were some setbacks, but it was a super beautiful place. The drive was not bad at all. I mean, we're on I-70 for like 80 miles or something like that, and the speed limit's 70. Everybody's just cruising. It's pretty smooth. Once you get out, you know, out there in the northwest a little bit, you start getting some really cool and pretty terrain. Once we got to the place, both sites that we went to were super beautiful. The overlook, obviously, and then even when we went to site 66, that was cool because it was like surrounded by all the water and everything and the woods, and it's just really pretty out there. I kind of, you know, even though we came home a day early, I kind of got to see everything I wanted to see. I mean, it would have been nice to explore a little bit more and do some hiking, or maybe see if there was any slightly more difficult trails to go down or anything like that. One of the reasons I wanted to go on this trip was to kind of put everything to the test. I wanted to put my rig to the test, wanted to put myself to the test, wanted to see if my loadout was up to par, and then I also wanted to see, you know, if there's anything that I forgot that I really need to like focus on, saying, hey, grab this next time because you keep forgetting it, or you forgot it last time or anything. So I guess we'll start with myself, and I'll do like mentally and physically there. So physically, it was great. Well, I'm a little out of shape, so going up and down, walking up and down some of those trails got me a little out of breath, and moving that big tree that was blocking the road reminded me that I need to probably hit up a little more cardio and lose a little bit of storage fat. But like warmth wise and everything, it was super cold, so that was my main concern, was not being warm enough. I was super warm. The first night we were there, my fingers and toes were a little bit cold, but I was wearing like a thin pair of socks and then little cowboy looking boots. The second day we were there, it was colder than the first night, I believe, or it was maybe about the same temperature during the day. So I put a second pair of like wool socks on, and my feet were burning up, and it was super comfortable too. Double the padding. And then the first night I was wearing like these like convertible like mitten glove things with the fingertips cut out. So I had another pair of Eddie Bauer gloves that were like full gloves, and then I had a second pair of Eddie Bauer gloves that were like those big thick, you know, like not cotton, they're like some kind of like, I don't know, different kind of material that is probably better at deflecting the wind and stuff like that. So I probably would have been fine either way, but my clothes, I was good. I was plenty warm with my coat, and I had on, like I said, thermal top and bottom, and I had a pair of jeans on, and then just a t-shirt, and then an Eddie Bauer, like a down parka, I think it's called. And then I was just wearing like a little cotton hat, as you saw. So physically I was good. Mentally I was good, and what I mean by that is I enjoyed the trip. I liked it. I would do it again. It wasn't, of course, we were only out there for one night, so it's kind of hard to say, like, were you getting hungry? Were you getting, like, tired of not having a shower? Were you tired? You know, any of that kind of stuff. We were only out there for one night, so it's kind of hard to say with all that kind of stuff. I mean, I definitely brought way more food than I needed, so I definitely wasn't hungry. I definitely wasn't thirsty. I had plenty of water. You know, when I woke up on, Tuesday morning. Yeah, Tuesday morning. I was ready to get up. I was happy. I was excited. So, like, mentally, I was good. I enjoyed my time. The rig, I wanted to put the rig to the test. Like, and what I mean by that is my my truck, and like kind of how I have everything set up. So the truck itself did fine. The trails, like I said, though, the trails probably weren't anything you couldn't have done in a two-wheel drive vehicle with some ground clearance, to be honest with you. You know, everybody wants the four-wheel drive and this and that and the other, but for the stuff I've done in my lifetime anyway, it's never really been a necessity, but I don't really take it like wheeling and dealing and going over big, large rocks and everything like that. But I think a two-wheel drive vehicle would have been fine. But anyway, so yeah, it performed flawlessly there. And this truck, I was kind of worried because it needs an oil change. I'm actually gonna call and schedule that. It's not like overdue or anything, it just needs one done like soon. It hasn't had a new battery in a while. The tires are getting, they're definitely not bald by any means, but they're getting there. So, but everything held up good. I'm gonna get some of that stuff addressed though here in the next couple days. The rig held up great. The only thing I will say about the rig that I probably want to address is that I want to make everything more accessible in the back there. Right now, like I said, I've got those 4 totes and everything's kind of like categorized. Like I have medical stuff in one, I have like all my cooking stuff in one, I have my heating stuff in one. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to reorganize all my totes, and I'm going to put all the stuff that I use most frequently in the tote that I can access just from like putting a tailgate down, and I can still reach that one main tote. Because it's kind of a pain to have to lift that bed up and scoot all the boxes down and pry the little clips open and everything like that. Just kind of a pain in the butt in there when you don't really have a lot of space to move around. So I think I'm going to do that, but otherwise I think the rig performed very well. And like my loadout, like the stuff that I brought, I think I had everything that I needed. I had plenty of lights, the fans, you know, I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but obviously I had a big time issue with some of my electronics, like specifically batteries. None of them performed well at all on this trip. I definitely want to get an electric chainsaw. I think that that's something that if I'm going to be doing this kind of stuff that I'm going to need. And I don't want to get one that plugs into the Blue Eddy, especially now, because that's kind of like what killed it, right? Even though it shouldn't have. I want to get one of those ones that has like the separate like battery pack you can charge and just plug into the chainsaw. That way I can just have like 2 of those charged up every time I go, and then I can use them for the chainsaw or other things. But yeah, definitely nice to have a chainsaw, because I would have been really mad if we didn't have a chainsaw and we drove all the way out there to stay at like that specific site and then couldn't because that path was blocked. There was no service out there to call like a park ranger or anything, so I don't really know that we would have been able to stay at that site. We probably would have just gone to like the closest one and just stayed there. Anyway, so that new Enduro battery just died. It said it had 17%. They're supposed to be 40% longer and all that stuff. So I don't know if it actually died. This one also has 17%. So I'm going to charge these up and see how they perform, but still having battery issues, it seems. Anyway, I will cut this short since I will go ahead and end this video, since I don't know if I'm going to be able to record the whole thing. But yeah, basically overall, I was very happy with the rig, and I was very happy with the trip in general. Definitely gave me and Mike some stuff to improve upon and be prepared for next time. So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and hope you liked the video. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. And you know, it's slow time for photography, so I'm hoping to do more of these videos, so keep on checking back. See you on the next one.